Dagon learned early that a road was not a line between places. A road was a mouth. It swallowed carts, sandals, coins, warnings, prayers, lies, bodies, soldiers, brides, taxmen, shepherds, thieves, and prophets. It taught him that a person with nothing could still be useful if he knew where to stand. That morning, Dagon stood where the road bent toward the low scrub and watched a family argue over a donkey. The father wanted to keep moving. The mother wanted water. The little girl had one hand on the donkey's rope and the other around a cloth bundle she did not trust anyone else to carry. They were not rich, but poor travelers carried the important things close: bread, a coin, a charm, a knife, a dead mother's bracelet. Dagon watched the bundle. He had not eaten since yesterday. Hunger made the world simple: a road, a family, a donkey, a bundle. He stepped from the scrub before the father saw him. "Road's bad ahead," Dagon said. The father turned too quickly. Not a fighter, then. A fighter turned with his feet first. "Bad how?" Dagon shrugged. "Men near the stones." The mother pulled the girl closer. "Good." Fear moved the bundle. "Romans?" the father asked. "Worse," Dagon said. "Men who want to eat." The father looked down the road as if the danger would stand politely where it had been named. "There is another path?" the mother asked. Dagon nodded toward the scrub. "Longer." "Safer, you know it." "I know roads." This was true. It was also not the answer to her question. The father hesitated, measuring him now. Dagon let himself look smaller. The girl watched him as if children had been created to see through professional adults. "What do you want?" she asked. Her mother hissed her name. Dagon almost smiled. "Bread." That broke something in the father. Suspicion did not leave him, but it lost its clean edge. The mother reached into the bundle. Dagon's eyes followed her hand. Cloth opened. Inside was bread wrapped in another cloth, 2 small coins, and a little carved thing that might have been a bird or might only have wanted to be. He saw the coins. He saw the girl's fingers tighten. He saw the father see him seeing. The mother broke the bread, not all of it, enough. She handed him the piece without stepping closer. Dagon took it and waited for the trap. A sermon, maybe. A question about his parents. But she only closed the cloth. "Show us the path," she said. He should have taken them into the scrub and circled back. The coins were still there. The father was nervous. The donkey was tired. Instead, Dagon bit the bread. It was stale. It was perfect. "This way," he said. He led them around the stones and through a dry wash where thorn branches scratched the donkey's flank. There were no men waiting by the road that morning. Not yet. Dagon had invented them because invented men were useful. But the long path was real, and it brought them back to the road beyond the place where a traveler could be seen too late from both directions. The father knew. Dagon saw the knowledge arrive in him when they rejoined the main road and no ambush appeared behind them. The man looked at the bend, then at Dagon, then at his wife. His face tightened around pride. "There were no men," he said. Dagon swallowed the last of the bread. "Not now. You lied. I guided." The girl made a sound that was almost a laugh and almost not aloud. The father stepped toward him. Dagon's hand went to the little knife at his belt. It was a bad knife, too short for confidence and too dull for clean work, but a bad knife was still a way of asking a man if his anger had counted the cost. Then the mother spoke. "Leave him." The father did not look at her. "He lied. He was hungry. So are we. And yet we are here." That sentence stood in the road longer than any of them. Dagon hated her for it. The father spat into the dust. "Come," he said to his family. The girl looked back once. Dagon lifted 2 fingers in a lazy salute because boys would rather act shameless than be seen receiving anything. They went on. He stood alone at the bend with bread in his stomach and anger in his chest. The first mercy he remembered hating. By afternoon, the road changed. People began moving in one direction without the usual reasons. A few had the unsettled look of people who had left home in the middle of a task because a word had entered the house and changed the importance of everything else. Dagon watched from the shade of a rock. This crowd did not smell like trade. It smelled like expectation and dust. He caught a boy by the sleeve. "Where are they going?" The boy pulled away. "To the river, for water, for John." Dagon had heard the name everyone had. Dagon did not trust men who made hunger holy. "What does he give?" Dagon asked. The boy looked confused. "He tells people to repent." Dagon stared at him. "And they pay for this." The boy laughed. No, that made no sense at all. Dagon followed, not closely. He was not a sheep. He moved along the outer edge where the dust was thinner and the escape was better. The road opened toward the river and the sound reached him before the water did. Voices, not singing exactly, not shouting exactly. A crowd made of separate burdens, people pressing toward a man who did not look like he had anything to sell. John stood near the water. Dagon had expected height. John was not arranged. He looked like the wilderness had argued with him and lost interest before finishing. He spoke, and people listened as if the words were not new but had been buried under them. Dagon did not understand all of it. Judgment, axe, fruit, fire. One man near him began to cry without covering his face. Then came the water. People went in one way and came out another. No coins changed hands. No Roman walked backward. The world remained the world. And yet people stepped into the river with faces hardened by years and came out unable to put the same face back on quickly enough. A man beside him whispered, "He says even tax collectors can turn." "Can they pay back?" Dagon asked. The man did not answer. Near sunset, a rumor moved faster than the river. Another teacher had come, a Galilean. Dagon saw only a man from a distance, ordinary enough to disappoint anyone hoping for a king. He was speaking to someone near the water. Dagon could not hear him. He watched anyway. The Galilean laughed at something the man beside him had said about a fishing boat. The people nearest him changed when he did. Their shoulders lowered. Their faces opened. He left before dark. On the road back, he passed the place where he had guided the family around the invented danger. A small print remained where the girl's sandal had pressed into softer ground. He stood over it